Hey, I'm Danny from Angler Tackle & Gun. Welcome back to Tip Tuesday. Today what we're going to do is we're going to put a scope on a rifle. There's a few things you've got to have to think about. It's the height of the scope, what mounts you need, what you're doing with it, that sort of stuff. So we're not going to go into what scope, we've done this in the past. But this is how I tend to put a scope on a rifle. So what I've done is put it on a rest, as you can see. I've had to borrow Meg's phone just to show you this, but basically some phones have the option for a bubble level, so you can do that. You can use the other options of using something like this. You can, if I run over here quickly, like that. It's just a little bubble level that goes on the back. But what this does is this sets the foundation of your gun is level. Right. So level, which is fine. Then what we do is we're just going to put the mounts on. So for example, this here is a 9 to 11, and somewhere around here is a Weaver. So 20mm or 22mm, 9 to 11, dovetail, Picatinny Weaver, whatever you want to call it. But they're the difference between them. Is we're going to try and get it as low as we can. I know, for example, my gun can have medium mounts, so I've gone for the Hawk mounts. There obviously are other brands, but let's have a look. I'll put the front one on, and then I can put the back one on. So if you can, keep both these, so there's little screws, keep them both on one side, don't crisscross them, so don't have them that way instead. This is the rear one. The reason I can tell this is the rear one, it's got a hole in it, because it's got a pin this side, so it's a locking pin. So on like the spring guns, they might have dents in the top or inlets to let the pin go in. So you just want to try and make sure that that is flush as well, so it's not scratched the top of your gun. As you can see, someone's forgotten to do that and put that on there. So there. So what you want to try and do, I'll leave that loose a bit, just so I can show you the demonstration. So this is my old Hawk Air Max. You can't have it too far forward, so it's not going to sit right, because it's elevated. So you want to try and put that on there, just to yourself, like that. All right. So this now, for example, if I turn this sideways a little bit, that didn't really help. Pick you up for a second. There we go. Right, tends to be, or needs to be usually, from my experience, is halfway between the rear and the start of the incline on the stock. So if I just go up a little bit, so that groove there, so on their arms, what I want is I want it about here, because it's halfway between here and here. Usually how it works. So unless you've got a short eye relief gun, but yeah. So let's go back down. There we go. Right. So back on the gun. So that's going to go on there. So I want to half the distance. So my mounts need to move forward a bit. Like so. So it's halfway between there and there. Just going to tighten them up. Obviously everyone's different, but it's just what I found in the years of doing this. So that's fine. Right. Gonna grab Meg's phone again. I'm trying to remember our code. Right. So I'm gonna put that on the top. There. So it's just slightly out. There you go. Right. So for example, it's on the wood like that, but obviously would be well off. But that is now straight. So that's straight with the gun, the mounts, the scope is all straight. So put these on there, like that. So for example, you can see that I've put one either side of the tube. That just keep things just a bit more secure and steady. If, for example, you are desperate for going near the back, I don't overly advise it, but you can. Put them both on the rear one. Obviously they don't fit. Let's just undo that one. Undo that one. Like that, but then that leaves the front end wobbly. So you lock it down, it's going to be fairly in place, but just because of the weight of the scope, it's going to sit more like that, which obviously isn't ideal, so we want to try and keep them flat as we can with everything. So that's fine. Let's do this a bit more, shall we? It's a bit awkward when you're trying to watch it through the camera and you can't figure out where your hands are. So it's a good idea to not mark them, but remember where these marks are. Right. So that's roughly between there and there. Grab this again because I've taken it off about 5 times. Cool. Right. Just on a side note, if you are using your phone, don't forget that sometimes now the phones are stepped. So if you put it on the phone like that, and it's just going to go wonky. Right, let's see if I can fast forward this bit while I just tighten these up. So always remember, don't lose your screws. Or if you lost your screws already, then, you know, fine. Also as well, you might notice, and I'll see if I can keep my hands out of the way, is I've done one side, then I've done the other. So on the back here, keep my hands out of the way. I'll do one side. It's not super tight, not very tight at all. So I'm going to do the other. So just try and keep the gap a bit flush. So if I put that there, there's a gap there. The same on the other side, just keep them flush as you can. Sorry. This video is going to be a bit wobbly because I keep moving stuff. I really should invest in a new stand. Oh. That was what I mean for anyway. Right. So reverse side. The opposite side now would be this one. I'll just hit the camera, shall I? And then this one. Then that one. Wait, I'm going to hit the camera again, so I'm just going to. So now what we can do is we can go through each one, just tighten a little bit. Tighten a little bit. Tighten a little bit. Tighten a bit. So just repeat that for the front ones, which unfortunately I'm going to make you watch. That one. They don't need to be super tight. Don't crank them down. Just crush the scope. It's pointless. Right. So, scope's on. I can put something underneath the front, so I know it's not touching the barrel. So the the barrels isn't being pushed up or pushed down. This could move forward a little bit, to be fair. So what we can do from here is we can go from zeroing it in. So you'll have your elevation and your windage. So you're up and down, your left and right, easiest way to put it. So elevation, windage, so left and right, up and down. So it's on the top, up, so up is that way, down would be that way. So right or left, depending on which scope you got, but this one's right. So right is that way and left is that way. So I'll show you how these work in a second. Ever so simple. This one's a lock turret, so you just lock. It says just lock it, just lock it. It doesn't spin. Unlock it, spins. So all we're going to do now is we're going to look down the scope. So you should see the camera side as well. I'll see if I can link them together. But basically all we're going to do is zero it in. So if I aim for centre, I, for the life of me, cannot see where that went. Typically, bullseye. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mess these up. Yeah, and then we'll go like this. Right, try that again. Getting old, I need glasses. Right. Right. As you can see, went off to the right hand side. So on here, right is this way. So we shot to the right, so we want to go left. That's my IR work on this now. A bit awkward showing at night, but right. So a bit more. Don't be scared to give it a good spin if you need to. Too far. So I'll go back. Better, but we're high, so we need to come down. So on this one, up is that way, so down is the other way. So near center. Cool. So what I'd recommend to do from here is get your groupings. So this is where you then start. It's a bit awkward to shoot at night, but so if I aim near the 8, it says right, and if I aim again, cool. Right, so you can see that it's just a little bit to the right. So rather than doing loads of clicks, we can do one click or two. Depends how brave you're feeling. But if we go for the 8 above, I've clearly gone the wrong way. And I'm out of ammo, but that should give you a general gist on how to shoot them, or how to not shoot them, but how to zero them. Just make sure it's empty. Just a quick one. So as you said, to take the mag out, you can either pull that out and that then decocks them. The other option is point it somewhere safe, pull the trigger, because then you know it's not loaded. So set up this way, you know, it keeps everything straight. The only issue I have is if you walk around the field, you know, you're not always holding the gun straight. So you could have the gun, technically, yes, this is all straight, But if you're holding it and you hold it on the wonk, it's fine if you're on a bench. But if you're holding it on the wonk, just by habit or how you hold, how you stand, anything like that, then you might find that it seems like the crosshairs on the wonk as well. So it depends what sort of type of shooting you're doing. If you're doing, like say, bench rest, or you're on a bench and you're rested, bench rest, then this way's fine. Obviously, it keeps everything straight. You know it's straight. As long as you shoot with the gun straight, then it's fine. If, for example, you walk around a field, then the other way I'd recommend doing it is basically hold the gun like how you held it. So keep this all straight as what you can. Undo these a bit, just so they don't have to be tight. So if I just ever so slightly spin it, but stiff. And once you're happy with how you're holding it, and it feels straight to you when you're standing, free hand, then fine. So I'll just roughly put that back. So that's fine. And then don't forget to tighten the back up. That's fine. Right, but that is all for today's Tip Tuesday.